Gold is being driven by things that are bigger than Trump, bigger than the White House. Central bank buying, the BRICS, de-dollarization, the fact that the U.S. froze and is in the process of stealing $300 billion worth of Russian-owned U.S. Treasury securities that were lawfully acquired. If you're anybody, China, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, Japan, anybody, you say, hey, you guys, the United States, just stole, not froze, but stole $300 billion of Treasury securities. Why do I want to be in Treasuries? Well, you have to be in some because there aren't many good alternatives, but you're going to go to gold.
As we enter the final stretch of 2024, the international gold price has consistently reached new highs over the past 8 months, supported by substantial central bank demand. Collectively, central banks remain net buyers of physical gold, boosting their monetary reserves amid an increasingly uncertain global financial landscape. Renowned financial expert and best-selling author Jim Rickards points to factors such as central bank purchases and the global trend of de-dollarization as critical drivers of gold's strength. The U.S. government's recent actions to freeze and potentially seize Russian-owned assets have raised concerns worldwide, leading countries like China, Saudi Arabia, and Japan to view gold as a safer alternative to the dollar. This shift in trust indicates a bullish outlook for gold, which continues to gain favor as nations reevaluate their reliance on U.S. dollar-based reserves. Moreover, statements from BRICS officials and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov have sharply criticized the U.S. dollar's global role. Lavrov remarked that once considered a global good, the dollar has become a tool for punishing dissenters, a trend that he believes has undermined trust in the currency. This erosion of confidence attributed to the U.S.'s weaponization of the dollar has accelerated de-dollarization efforts, particularly among BRICS nations. The Federal Reserve recently approved its second consecutive interest rate cut, lowering the benchmark overnight borrowing rate by 25 basis points to a target range of 4.5% to 4.75%. This moderate adjustment follows a larger half-point cut in September and signals a gradual approach to rate reductions aimed at managing an economic slowdown rather than stimulating growth. Rickards notes that these rate cuts may have limited impact as the financial challenges mount, highlighting gold's appeal as a hedge while tightening monetary policy. These economic shifts and rising geopolitical tensions reinforce gold's status as a preferred asset. Make sure to tune in for our expert analysis. Don't miss out on future content. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications to stay in the loop. Your support is greatly appreciated.
Gold is going to get a lot stronger, and it's not like we're not going back to a gold standard or anything of the kind. But here's the thing: gold is being driven by factors that are bigger than Trump. Presidency is a big deal. Looks like the Republicans might have what we call a trifecta, where you get the White House, the Senate. The Republicans have the Senate. House is still close, but it looks like they'll get the House, maybe only by a few votes. That's the trifecta when you have the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And then that means treaties, tax reconciliation, Supreme Court appointment. There's a whole bunch of things that you can get done if you do that. And none of it's bad for gold, but it's not really pertinent. But gold is being driven by things that are bigger than Trump, bigger than the White House. Central bank buying, the BRICS, de-dollarization, the fact that the U.S. froze and is in the process of stealing $300 billion worth of Russian-owned U.S. Treasury securities that were lawfully acquired. If you're anybody, China, Saudi Arabia, Taiwan, Japan, anybody, you say, hey, you guys, the United States, just stole, not froze, but stole $300 billion of Treasury securities. Why do I want to be in Treasuries? Well, you have to be in some because there aren't many good alternatives, but you're going to go to gold. So the gold trade, gold is going to go higher. It's bigger than Trump is how I would put it. It's right. Usually the Fed is like all the headlines. Well, no one's even thinking about the Fed. I do because I wrote a newsletter. Yeah, here's the thing, Danielle, and I'll answer the question directly. It doesn't change anything. The Fed is going to raise interest rate, or sorry, cut interest rate. I misspoke. Fed's going to
Yeah.
cut interest rates 25 basis points tomorrow. They're going to cut them another 25 basis points in December. They're on a path. It's not, it's the no drama Fed. They're going to keep lowering interest rates. That's not necessarily a good thing, by the way. Everyone's like, oh, well, the Fed's cut rates, it's stimulus. They are cutting rates, but it is not stimulus. Cutting rates is something that goes hand in hand with an economic slowdown or recession. So we'll see how Trump's policies try to turn the recession around, but that's kind of baked in the pie. The U.S. economy is slowing very, very dramatically. So if you ask me what the Fed's going to do, it's easy. They're going to cut 25 basis points today and again in December. They're on that path. But if you ask me if that's stimulus, I would say no. The Fed is almost irrelevant in the stimulus debate. They put on a good show. I'll give Jay Powell credit. He's a smart guy. He's a lawyer, not an economist. I do watch it and I write about it and I analyze it, but I focus much more on commercial banks, productivity gains, and things like that. Governors have a 14-year term, but the chair has a
Right.
4-year term. His term expires in early 2026. Now, the question is, can the president fire the Fed chair? Well, it's never happened. They sort of like pull the rug out from under them. Their term expires, they leave, pick a new chair. Fine. There's never been a Fed chair who was fired in midterm, and it's not even clear you can do it. But I don't think Trump's going to try. The clock's ticking. Powell's had 2 terms. He's on his way out in 2026. Why pick that fight if you don't have to? But where Trump will prevail, and I think here's the big story, Danielle. There's rotation. There'll be vacancies on the Board of Governors, and look who Trump appoints to the Board of Governors. You're going to see, and this is not a hard forecast, but you're going to see names like Judy Shelton, Monica Crowley, and others who are very pro gold. Wouldn't we love to see Ron Paul on the Federal Reserve?
This upward trend in the precious metals value shows no signs of slowing, and Goldman Sachs analysts project that gold could reach a record high of $3,000 per ounce by the end of 2025. The rally creates a complex environment for the mining sector as companies navigate rising prices and operational challenges. For example, companies with operations in Ghana and Burkina Faso face logistical and regulatory obstacles, while industry giants like Newmont struggle to capitalize on gold's high market value fully. Despite these challenges, analysts at Barron's suggest that post-election market conditions present an attractive entry point for gold mining stocks. If Trump were to win, noted financial commentator Jim Rickards highlights that the mining sector could expand further due to potential relaxed environmental regulations, particularly in the U.S. This would benefit resource extraction for critical metals essential to industrial and technological needs. Given the global drive toward infrastructure development and renewable energy, increased mining activity could help meet the growing demand for copper, lithium, and other critical minerals. Let's get back to the interview.
One of the good things about predicting Trump was going to win is we were able to actually do some research and to our newsletter subscribers and others and interviews and shows like yours, tell people what the best trades were. In other words, what sectors were going to benefit from Trump. There's some that are going to be hurt. The Green News scam, windmill operators. We don't have to get out of this. Those are all going to be hurt. Trump's not bashing them. He's just saying we're not going to subsidize them. We're not going to put them at the front of the line anymore. You're on your own. Most of them are not economic. So we don't have to spend time on that. But there is a list of places you don't want to be. But on the positive side, here are the sectors, because as I said, I did a big article on this a couple of days ago. Obviously, oil, natural gas drilling, production, and refining. I like Marathon Oil because they're of course, they're an exploring, producing company along with ExxonMobil and Chevron. But Marathon has a big refining slice, and U.S. hasn't built a new refinery since the 1970s. So you're not only going to see pipelines and maybe finally get the Keystone XL pipeline done after all those delays, but you're going to see an expansion of refining capacity. So I like that. Mining for sure, as costs of production go down, as electricity prices go down, based on, drill, baby, drill. If you produce more energy, you're going to have lower energy prices. And as you know better than anyone, Danielle, energy and water are big inputs into the mining business. But opening up leasing on federal lands, relaxing environmental permits. By the way, I have a certain amount of experience in the mining industry. I've never seen anyone who's more careful about the environment. I mean, if you're using arsenic to get reduction to gold, for example, they cache it and they weigh it. And it's like, you better account for every drop of arsenic. It's not like they're dumping this into the water. So it's not a threat to the environment, and using the environment to stand in the way. That's going to change. Mining is going to expand. Canada, different set of rules, but the U.S., places like Nevada, which is Utah, which are kind of mining friendly, that's going to grow. If you have an industrial expansion, what do you need? More copper, more lithium. Silver is an industrial metal. Defense and national security for sure. And it's not all about, RTX. It used to be Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, et cetera. Yeah, they're the biggies. But a company called Leidos, which has 3 verticals. It's defense, national security, and IT. I can't think of a better combination of things that are going to benefit under Trump. Automobile manufacturing, sorry, China, sorry, Mexico. Trump, and by the way, you have to know the people behind it. Robert Lighthizer, Peter Navarro. I mean, I know Peter personally, and I've spoke to other Trump advisors. They're going to pound foreign imports of cars with tariffs. Like, yeah, I sound like Trump now, but like you've never seen. And Mexico is not going to get off the hook under well, it's the USMCA now, the updated version of NAFTA, but basically it allows Mexican cars into the U.S. without tariffs. But a lot of those Mexican car plants are owned by China. Trump's going to single them out, put huge tariffs on them. So what they're saying, they're not saying we're against foreign investment. They're saying you, China, Japan, Korea, whoever you are, you can sell cars in the United States, but you have to make them here. You're going to have to open plants.
The ongoing rise in gold prices reflects a broader global trend toward financial diversification and a shifting sentiment away from traditional dollar-backed assets. As economic and geopolitical uncertainties persist, central banks and investors view gold as a reliable store of value, reinforcing its role in uncertain times. This trend not only boosts gold's appeal but also highlights the potential opportunities within the mining sector, especially as demand for critical minerals grows alongside infrastructure and renewable energy needs. How might central banks' sustained gold purchases influence the global financial system, particularly regarding the dollar's position as a reserve currency? Share your perspective in the comment section. If the video resonates with you, join our community by subscribing to our channel and enabling notifications with the bell icon. Thank you for being a part of our community.